Hi everyone, welcome to Value. So today we're going to talk about Siga Technologies. Now the world is basically scrambling to find a stock that does a good monkeypox vaccine, and basically Siga Technologies is one of them, hence why the market is just going nuts over it. Friday it went up 43%, and then basically today we're looking at about 35% pre-market gain, which is massive for the stock. So basically on the Friday close, it's basically giving a valuation of 897 million, and then on this increase of 35%, this brings it well over a billion. The big question is it worth it? Because this stock, if you go look at their financials for the third quarter, they were not large at all. Total revenues was $10.5 million, and that was up from 4.8. So overall, they're not really generating as much revenues, but it's actually the contracts that are coming up that are generating a lot of revenue. So let's talk about a bit more about monkeypox. So you basically have Biden going, US is exploring monkeypox vaccines. Everybody should be concerned. And now why should everybody be concerned? Because on Friday there was about 3 European countries and the US that had reported cases. Now we're basically 4 days later, we're up to 9 European countries, and then adding Canada and Australia as well, and that's basically amounting to 92 confirmed cases and 28 suspected cases, which kind of brings a lot of concern because it's starting to spread at an alarming rate. Now, that's not a lot of cases in that sense, but these things, if they keep spreading like this, what might be next. Like it might spread to, if it keeps spreading, it gets a little hard to control, and it's not great for these things to be spreading, especially monkeypox. So basically, we have basically countries scrambling to find vaccines, and we've got studies that say smallpox vaccines are at least 85% effective against monkeypox. So there we go. And Siga Technologies is basically one of those companies that their focus was possibly more on the smallpox area. But basically, their smallpox vaccine is quite effective against monkeypox as well. Hence why this company, especially it's given it how lowly valued it is as well, it kind of gives it a lot of room to go up in valuation, and particularly on the revenues it could potentially make in the future as well. So they signed an agreement with Barter, I think possibly last year or earlier, for $112 million contract, which they have just recently started delivering. So if we go to the financials, and we see here that during the first quarter, the company made a series of deliveries of TPOX to the US government totaling $7 million. These deliveries represent the first sales of TPOX under the 19C barter contract, and that was $7 million. So basically, out of the $10.5 million that they made, $7 million of that was basically from this contract here. So you get the idea that the revenue is actually only just starting to come into this company. So for a long time, no one could really predict how good this company would be, but given the timing of everything, it's kind of really good. So the value of this company is starting to be recognized in terms of its future potential, and also the timing of it could not be better because they're going to get so many big contracts coming their way. And also, this also could not have been better timing, that Siga receives approval from the FDA for their TPOX formulation, which this formulation is for people that are unable to swallow capsules. So I don't imagine the markets can be is that large, but I don't know. Potentially there is a lot of people that can't swallow capsules, which in a sense it opens it up. And this could not be better timing, because it just gives them a massive opportunity to come into this area, and then just basically start doing, start fulfilling massive contracts. So as we see here, the oral formulation of TPOXX is approved in the US, Canada, and Europe for the treatment of smallpox. The European approval also includes the treatment of monkeypox, cowpox, and the complications of with vaccina. So there we go. It's the formulation of TPOXX is cited in a recent US president's budget request as being used to treat a patient in the US with monkeypox. So there we go. That their focus is really on smallpox, but it is very effective against monkeypox. Hence why this company is kind of just flying up very, very high, because there's, in a sense, something quite special about it, because potentially it might get some massive contracts. They already have this massive $112 million contract. So basically, you can see potentially how lucrative this could be, depending on how much monkeypox spreads around the world. I think if it continues to spread as it is right now, you could probably bet that this company, Siga Technologies, and other companies, which are very few, there's actually very few around, because there wasn't really a massive need for these kind of vaccines around the world. But now that we're seeing it kind of, monkeypox kind of come in and spread like this, then I think this is going to spread quite a bit of worry, and at least countries will probably start stockpiling just to be cautious. But that itself is risk, because if countries didn't want to stockpile, then potentially they may not get as much orders, especially if monkeypox is fixed quite early on. But you do have Biden going, this is a real concern. So I mean, if he's coming in and going, yes, this is a big concern, then perhaps we should take notice. And potentially this is a company that could benefit in a huge way because of that. Let me know if you've got any questions, or what you think about the company. Like, this is one company that's open for investing. I think I talked about Bavarian Nordic, and that was an over-the-counter stock for US investors anyway, so that people could not invest in that one, but they can invest in this one. And this one's actually selling at a much lower valuation, though the revenues are very, very small. They're only just starting to make their revenues right now. So that kind of just shows that the potential that's ahead of this company. But overall, I think this looks like a very, very promising company that's worth looking into, particularly if you're following the whole situation with smallpox and you're wondering, is there a company that can come in and fix this? And there is. We'll probably have to see how the market kind of performs. But just to see it up to 43% on Friday, and then 35% on the pre-market today, it's pretty amazing just to see what something like this can do. I feel like if you managed to find the stock on a Friday and you brought into it, you would be smiling right now. The big question is, if the market opens today, what you would probably want to do? Well, you'd probably want to look at possibly watching and going, you'll buy some, or you potentially might decide that, hey, you're going to watch and see if the price drops, and you would only buy some if the price drops. Then that's very reasonable as well. Until then, good luck investing, everyone.